Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Sunday, April 21st, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with AEW Collision, which took place live on TNT Saturday night from the Peoria Civic Center in Peoria, Illinois. Collision served as the main go-home program for the Dynasty pay-per-view later today in St. Louis. In the main event, FTR and Pac defeated Kazuchika Okada and the Young Bucks in a six-man tag team match after Pac pinned Matt Jackson. Following the bout, Daniel Garcia came down to the ring and helped FTR and Pac repel the Elite's attempt at a post-match beatdown. Earlier in the night, Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli defeated Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher in an Anything Goes bunkhouse brawl match. Danielson submitted Fletcher after trapping him in a steel chain-assisted label lock. Afterwards, Danielson cut a promo on his Dynasty opponent tonight, Will Ospreay.
And having a whole crew of people trying to break my neck before I wrestle one of the best in the world and telling them there's no way in hell they can do it. Because tomorrow at Dynasty, Will Ospreay, I'm going to beat your ass.
During the match, Powerhouse Hobbs had interfered on behalf of the Don Callis family but was neutralized by Jon Moxley. Hobbs had quickly submitted CJ Esparza earlier in the show, after which his manager Don Callis announced that Hobbs' match against Jon Moxley this Wednesday night would be for the IWGP World Heavyweight title. The program opened with a six-man tag team match that saw Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe unite to put down the team of Action Andretti and Top Flight. In other results, Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn defeated the Acclaimed, and Sky Blue submitted Layla Hirsch. Collision was immediately followed on TNT by a live edition of AEW Rampage, which was preempted from its usual Friday time slot. The program opened with Rob Van Dam pinning Commander following a 5-star frog splash to win the high-flying 420 elimination four-way match. Johnson was eliminated first after being pinned by Cassidy, followed by Cassidy being pinned by Commander. Yuka Sakazaki defeated Emi Sakura, and in the main event, Kyle O'Reilly, Rocky Romero, and Daddy Magic defeated the Undisputed Kingdom's Roderick Strong, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett after O'Reilly tapped out Bennett. TNA Rebellion took place last night on pay-per-view from the Pearl Concert Theater at the Palms in Las Vegas. Moose retained the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, downing Nick Nemeth in the main event. It's the sixth successful defense of Moose's second title reign. Following the match, Broken Matt Hardy confronted the champion before laying him out with a twist of fate. TNA Knockouts World Champion Jordan Grace turned back the challenge of Steph DeLander. The match saw Jason Hotch, John Skyler, and Big Con interfere on DeLander's behalf, but then being fought off by PCO and Sami Callihan. Two other title matches also took place. Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards retained the TNA World Tag Team Championship, defeating Mike Bailey and Trent Seven. And X-Division champion Mustafa Ali used the ropes to pin Jake Something. Josh Alexander defeated Hammerstone in a last man standing match by delivering a butterfly pile driver on the ramp to get the pinfall. Other results saw Rich Swann defeat Joe Hendry after former National Football League linebacker Sean Merriman interfered and clotheslined Hendry. Frankie Kazarian downed Eric Young in a Full Metal Mayhem match. And Mike Santana debuted on the show, pinning former TNA World Champion Steve Macklin. During the pre-show for Rebellion, Laredo Kid defeated Crazy Steve to win the digital media title. Knockouts Tag Team Champions Danny Luna and Jody Threat beat Havoc and Rosemary. And in a six-man tag, Ace Austin and Chris Bay teamed with Leon Slater to defeat the Rascals trio of Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, and Myron Reed. Turning to Japan, Ryusuke Taguchi has become the second man in 3 days to be replaced in the upcoming New Japan Pro Wrestling Best of the Super Juniors tournament, due to injuries he suffered in a bicycle accident. In a press release yesterday, New Japan reported Taguchi suffered an injured neck along with wounds to his face, hands, and knees. As a result, the company announced Taguchi would miss at least 10 shows between April 20th and May 4th. And All Japan Pro Wrestling ran Night 2 of the 40th Annual Champions Carnival on Saturday from inside the Axe City Hamamatsu. Winners in Block A were Shotaro Ishino, Kento Miyahara, and Yuma Aoyagi, while in the B block, Jun Saito, Yuma Anzai, and Suwama were victorious. Day 3 of the tournament takes place today in Chiba City. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, You can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.